morning and welcome back. This time we start with the Malaysia Superbike Championship action. This time it's with the action-packed category, the YAMAHA Y16 ZR Race Masterclass. And in regards to championship, if you guys joined us yesterday for the race, you will have known that none other than Faris Hafiz has taken the championship away. He has 90 points right now. Below him is Adiputra Sukarno with the 28-point gap. So literally at this point, Faris Hafiz can just sit out and take the championship, but we know Faris and he will not do so. Yesterday was a tough race for him. It was a big group. We saw him planning his race all the way out. Myself and Harmy were watching every move that he was making, and he did exactly what we thought he was going to do, but he just fell short of the podium in fourth. And it was quite the photo finish. It was quite a hectic race. Ara Tsunami ultimately taking his second victory of the season for this category. And that second victory as well brought Ara Tsunami up into third in the championship, only 1 point behind Adiputra in second. And to give you guys a gauge on how impressive Adiputra and Ara Tsunami are, because if you guys join us for the Petronas Malaysian Cup, you guys will know that I have mentioned it many times. Myself, Azam Mubin, he's mentioned it many times, and so has Harmy. We have all mentioned that these two are unbelievable talents. And look at the names below: Adiputra and Ara Tsunami, Alif Daniel, Abdullah Qayyum, Adil Muhammad Ayub, Shamil Akmal, Adam Michael Jahar, Nur Hakim, Nur Hafizullah, Zaki Ahmad, Afizi Supaid, Ahmad Shukran Aizad, Izam Hanafi, Faiz Karo Azmi, Shamil Amshaz in there, Dan Shaman Zamro, Arif Arshad, Ahmad Ikram Danish, Daniel Johan, Idil Fitri Mahadi. These are all well-known names. Even Shafiq Rosli, he's down there as well. And it just gives you a real showing of how talented these two young riders for the one-make races are. And I honestly am looking forward to seeing where they go after this, because they're such amazing riders. Adiputra especially, what a personality he is. He's always smiling, he's always cheerful. He's one of those riders. I use this term for Kasper Daniel usually, where I say that he's just happy as long as he's riding a bike. And I can say that exact same whenever I see Adiputra. He's just happy to be on the bike. He's just happy to be doing what he loves, and that is riding a machine with two wheels to the best that he can. Now we follow them into turn one. This will be their first flying lap, and just 4.5 minutes left, so they'll just get 2 flying laps in this. It's a very short warm-up session, 10-minute warm-up session. Usually their lap times are about in the lower 2-minute 50s, but it is still damp out there. It is drying, but it is gloomy weather. We're getting clouds cover, and it's still quite damp. So we can expect the timings to be over 3 minutes. Yeah, Abdullah Qayyum Abdul Razak, he was unfortunate. He had a third on the podium in yesterday's race. It was quite the battle between all the riders. And Abdullah Qayyum, he's been good all throughout the weekend, as well as for the likes of Muhammad Nur Hakim. Both of them have been really consistent, but just fell short of the podium for the likes of Muhammad Nur Hakim. As we always say, it's such an intense battle between these guys. And it's always tough to call who's going to come out as the top rider. Now we're following them now down the back straight. You can see everyone just is getting a taste of the weather and everything that's going on. Here they go up into turn 9. You can see there's some dry patches here and there, but still very much so damp out there. It's very tricky. I'll keep following them down into turn 10 and 11. So riders make their way down the hill now into 12 and 13. It's gonna be interesting to see how this pans out for the rest of the warm-up. For now, we still have no flying laps coming that have been completed, so stay tuned on the left side of our screens as we get the names popping up. It is a very long lap for these Y16 ZR machines. So now they form up onto the back straight. for all the riders as they make their way around the Sepang International Circuit. There's Adiputra Sukarno, the young talent coming up the ranks. He's leading this large group that we have here. Now you're going to see everyone fan out to try and get a line. It's going to be difficult trying to battle on that line in these conditions, but you can see the sun starting to peek out through the clouds. So a bit of hope for those who prefer the dry weather in Sepang rather than the wet. So you can see the sun shining now. I thought it was still very cloudy, but that's just simply because from our commentary box, it is we have these tinted windows that make it very hard to gauge what the weather is like outside. Now we follow them into turn 1. So the fastest rider once again in the session is Abdullah Qayyum Abdul Razak. He's just been so smooth and consistent all throughout. It's been really impressive from him. He's had the right feeling all throughout the sessions, and yeah, I would really like to see him convert this into a good finish. Oh dear, it's Muhammad Hakim, Muhammad Hafizullah, the other rider who's been performing well. That's at turn 2, so an unfortunate tumble for him there. Right after completing his first flying lap, he's gone 9th at 3 minute 7.712. So we need to try and get on into a better position if he can just realizing once again there isn't any time for him to get into a better position simply because we don't have much time left for another lap. So, and especially with him having to get up from a crash in turn 2. So for now, just 30 seconds left in this session. These riders swarming into this large group that we're seeing here. Now there they come into turn 9, so good sectors coming in from most of the riders. Of course, an improving sector after one lap to gauge the conditions, but nothing too much into record timing as per se. The checker flag has come out, so when these riders reach the start-finish line, they will conclude this session. And we'll see who comes out as the fastest in warm-up. Of course, warm-up isn't significant for any results. It's all about getting the feeling of the bike, understanding the conditions of the track, the weather, the feeling. That's the only thing that they'll be looking out for. Now, it is drying conditions. The sun is peeking out through the clouds here and there. Wait to see what these next flying laps will bring. Next flying lap. And here we're watching them all form up on the back straight once again. Everyone just in the mix. There's your champion as well in this. Faris Hafiz, number 19. He will have the least amount of pressure out of everyone coming into this. He has not a worry in his mind that he has to think about. All he has to do is just enjoy the race coming up. No risks need to be taken. He can't just go for a full victory if he wants to, because he has that luxury of having closed out the championship already. It is quite the luxury to be able to race knowing that the championship's already done and dusted for yourself. And coming across the line, Amaikram Danish, he's the fastest at 3 minute 02.9. Amirul Hazid Johan, second fastest, 3:03. Idil Fitri as well, he's third fastest at 3 minute 3. Abdullah Qayyum, he goes down into 4th. So that concludes the YAMAHA Loop Y16 ZR Race Masterclass warm-up. Fastest in the session is Amaikram Danish. Second is Amirul Hazid Johan. Idil Fitri, he's in 3rd. Abdullah Qayyum in 4th. Muhammad Danish Zarif 5th. Afizi Supad in 6th. 7th is Faris Hafiz, our champion. 8th is Afiq Harith Abu Bakar. 9th is Danny Mikhail Karo Fauzi, a bit of a better session for him. 10th is Muhammad Zaki Ahmad Zami. 11th Iman Fahmi. 12th Arash Tsunami. 13th Arif Arshad. 14th Ahmad Shukran Aizad. 15th is Shamil Amshar. 16th is Muhammad Lutfi Shah. 17th is Adiputra Sukarno. 18th is Muhammad Faiz Harul Azmi. 19th is Adam Haikal Jahar. 20th Danish Ayman Zamrul. 21st Irfan Danish. 22nd Ryan Kardani. 23rd Muhammad Al Shakir. 24th Shahzuddin Q Abshar. 25th, Muhammad Aidil Muhammad Ayub. 26th, Muhammad Alif Daniel. 27th is Muhammad Nur Hakim, who we saw fall off just now. Adib Hakim Nazri, he's in 28th. Fazil Farouk in 29th. And Daniel Johan in 30th. So we have for a short break, and we'll be right back after this with the MSBK250 warm-up session. Welcome back to the final action of the morning in the ARC and the MSBK category. For now, we're joined with the MSBK250 Warm Up session. Yesterday was quite an interesting session that we were entertained to. So the likes of Irfan Haikal ultimately taking the victory, which we full unexpected. We were hoping that Amir Lafik would have been able to give it a bit of a charge towards the likes of Irfan Haikal, but it wasn't to be. He just couldn't keep up with the pace of Irfan, and Irfan is the champion for the MSBK 250 category. So for now, we're gonna be entertained with a very mixed conditions warm-up session that we're gonna see now in the MSBK 250 class. It's been mixed conditions of day. It was raining in the morning, and then now it's starting to dry up a bit. We can see dry lines popping up here and there. So it's going to be interesting to see whether some people opt to go on the dry tires, because the wet tires, as we saw in the ASB, the dramatic ASB 1000 race yesterday, the wet tires just get chewed up through the conditions when the dry lines start to appear. So it's going to be a matter of seeing what the drivers' teams, the riders and teams decide to do. Now everyone's just coming out on the track and just trying to get a feel of the conditions, and I think we might see some people some of those who are on wet tires, they might just opt to go back into the pits, go back to respective garages and switch back. Oh dear, it looks like I think it's Israel Huzaimi who's gone off there. Not sure whether that was a bike issue or whether he fell. And that is the issue with this kind of condition. It is very hard to get a gauge on it. You're definitely not sure on what the condition's like. And yeah, looking at it, Amiriza, that looks like dry tires on. Trying to see Afik Hamdan, he also looks like he's on the dry tires. Yeah, I don't see the grooves on his tire, so lots of them will be on the dry option, but they will have to be careful. The track conditions are very tricky. Now yesterday was an interesting session. DNS for Sadatul Zakira, Mohammad Ezek Sharis and Alif Ashraf. Alif Ashraf very early on, we saw his gear lever that's just dropped off. So that's very unfortunate for the younger brother of the Tyruddin brothers. Well, I think it was a heroic performance for him. It was nice to see that he could bring the fight on towards Irfan Haikal. And it was impressive as well because they're both on the Honda CBR 250. The difference is Amir Lafik wasn't on a factory team machinery. So it was very impressive to see him bring that challenge towards the likes of Irfan Haikal. So Amir Lafik, he's on the Budak Kemia John Chain Loop Racing by Brap team. You can see that 5 and 6 looks sketchy, looks still quite damp there. So the riders have to be very, very wary of the conditions as they make their way around. As of right now, they still continue on, they soldier on through these mixed conditions that we're having. Just following Amir Lafik still as he makes his way around turn 7 and 8. You can see that the parts that are damp, the parts that are dry, it's very clear to see. Now here's Amir Lafik. He goes into turn 11, the long right-handed. This is sketchy when it gets to damp in areas, but you can see that's a good dry line coming out there. They continue on now as they make their way around. Here's Amir Lafik going into the final last few turns into 13 and 14, a double right-hander. For them now, down the back straight. Amir Lafik, he's on a decent time by the looks of the sectors. Irfan Haikal, of course, no surprise there. He's on a very good lap. Now just looking at Haikal, he's come across with 247. Irfan Haikal just came with a 230.4850. So clearly there's enough dry track to do decent timings in this session right now. Irfan showing a great example of that with that great lap time over 2:34 in these mixed conditions. Following Amr Izzat in the 250B class. Amr Izzat, of course, the fastest throughout the 250B. He took 4th place overall and 1st for the 250B category. He's riding for the Horizon Racing team as well as Israel Huzaimi, that's his teammate. Israel Huzaimi just finishing under Amr Izzat. It became a battle between the two of them after Ezek Sharis crashed out in the race yesterday. So in terms of the Weekend Warrior Championship, it's just between the two teammates on the Horizon Racing team, Amr Izzat and Israel Huzaimi. Haikal as well, he finished 3rd in the MSBK250B Weekend Warrior category. So he'll have something to fight for coming into the race day today. Irfan Haikal's on another very rapid lap, so I can expect, I think we can all expect a 2-minute 33 or 32 coming in from the likes of Irfan Haikal. He's going on with this lap. He's doing a decent lap, so I think shouldn't be too far behind the front runners that we have currently. Just following Amr he comes around turn 10 and 11. We're looking out for that 3rd sector. Irfan Haikal in a really good lap. Amr Izzat, he's still soldiering on with this lap time, getting used to the conditions that we have. Awkward conditions, I must say. He keeps on going forward. Now here's Amr Izzat onto the penultimate turn of the long Sepang International Circuit. It's home ground for all of the riders in this category. Everyone in this category happens to be from Malaysia, except for Ashish Patel, who is riding for the United Crown Motorsports India racing team. Ashish Patel having an unfortunate outing yesterday, where he was where he had a very evident jump start. That resulted in him having to take a right-through penalty, whereby he has to go through pit lane on the limiter. That does take a chunk out of your timing, but he did come back into finish in 11th. Now there's Afiq Hamdan. Afiq Hamdan's come across the line with a 2:42.176, so a bit more to be found from the young rider. Irfan Haikal came across in the last lap with a 2:33.014, so a good time coming in from the likes of Irfan Haikal. Amrul Afiq's time is a 2:35.063. With that said, the checker flag has come out now. We follow Afiq Hamdan, who is under the academy program by none other than Asia legend Azlan Shah. Follow Afiq Hamdan now as he makes his way around. This time Afiq Hamdan, he's riding for the Sabitar racing team, one of the teams that are familiar in the MSBK 1000 category as well. Follow Afiq Hamdan now as he makes his way down into turn 9. Now for you Malaysian fans out there, if you are at the track already, you will enjoy the pit lane walk coming up right after this session. So you guys will be able to meet the riders firsthand, the Asia Road Racing riders and the teams and the bikes. It's going to be an exciting little session that we're going to have here. You guys will get up close and personal with everyone, and it's a rare opportunity. It's all happening here at the Asia Road Racing Championship Round 4. So we look forward to seeing you in a few minutes after this session. For now, we follow Afiq Hamdan. Behind him is Zakir Nakiyuddin. He's been lapping in the 241s. Zakir as well, he's on an improving lap, and he's going to get some good chunk of slipstream behind the likes of Afiq Hamdan now. And he surely does come across Afiq Hamdan with the slipstream. He's going to make a move across him. There we go. Come around turn 15, no drama from either one of the riders. Here they come now. Zakir is on a decent lap. Irfan Haikal came across with a 232 on that lap. They're coming across there. Zakir, he's just done a 239, so he improves. Afiq Hamdan a 241 as well, so he's improved. So both riders improving in that lap. So there it is, the checker flag is out. Alif Ashraf, he's just come across with a 237. Azric Shares, he's just come across with 243.769. So with that said, that has concluded the MSBK 250 warm-up session. We're going to have the results up on your screens shortly. And in the mixed conditions at the Sepang International Circuit. So this is how the warm-up looks like. Irfan Haikal Hamidi, he's in first and fastest as expected. Amirul Afiq in second, third Alif Ashraf, fourth Zakir Nakiyuddin, fifth Amir Izzat Rozali, sixth is Afiq Hamdan, seventh Azric Sharis, eighth Muhammad Nur Haikal, ninth is Muhammad Irfan Safwan, 10th is Muhammad Fauzi Hassan, 11th Khairul Amirin, 12th is Siti Nur Shafia, 13th Muhammad Zulfadli Ishak, 14th Muhammad Zul Husni, 15th Abdul Hafiz Che Hussein, 16th is Niraj Sukamon. And all the riders below here not setting a time in the warm-up session. Israel Huzami, who we saw went off track earlier. Ahmad Faris Zafri, he's there as well. Patel Ashish and Saidatul Zakira. So with that said, our morning session has concluded. And for now, for those of you who are at the Sepang International Circuit already, you guys will be able to enjoy the pit walk session. For now, we are signing off. We'll be back later on in the afternoon at 12:35 for the first race of the afternoon session. And we'll see you guys later on.